Welcome to Stars Podcast, your growth mindset mecca. We are all about self-leadership principles here at Stars Podcast. Our guests come from all over the world with very unique stories of how they hacked their way into success. As you'll quickly find out, nothing happens overnight. And as always, enjoy the journey. Welcome to Stars Podcast. For all of you longtime listeners, welcome back. For your first time, welcome to the Stars Podcast family. Today we have a special guest. Her Twitter handle is Bariatric Beast. Her name is Carly Lembo. She's 20 years post-op, 300-pound weight loss and maintaining. She has come to us from Jersey, where she runs a Facebook group for those who need support during their bariatric journey. And she is a recovering addict as well. And her story is definitely one that rings true to a lot of us in this room. Her journey through sobriety is one that is going to make you reconsider what we're capable of. Enjoy the show. Carly Lembo. Where are you from, Carly?
Toms River, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Wait, you're not too far away from me at all.
No?
Oh. No, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm just north of Pittsburgh.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have you lived there like your whole life, or you transplant?
No, I was born in Patterson, and then I moved to Toms River when I was like a year old. And then I did live here my whole life until 2008. And then I moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for 13 years. And I moved back here about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. What took you down to South Carolina? Family or?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, and I was pregnant, and I didn't want to pay as much money as it was to live here while I was pregnant, and I had my daughter. Yeah. So it was fun. It was like a 12-year vacation.
12-year vacation. That's awesome.
It was. It really was. It was a vacation, most of it.
Yeah. So you just stayed with your dad then, or?
I did. He ran a golf course, and it was pretty. Yeah. I mean, while I was pregnant till I had my daughter, and then I went and got my own place. You know what I mean? But while I was pregnant and like I wasn't with her dad, and I wasn't getting back with her dad, you know what I mean? So It was just me and her. And, you know, I really just liked all the little perks I had there, you know, like a golf car. And yeah, so I loved it. And the weather was always good. So yeah, I stayed with my dad for a while, and then I got my own place.
No, that's awesome. So whenever you were at the golf course, were you like working banquet hall? What was the?
No, I counted the money.
You got the money. You counted the money.
I was only good at math. My dad wasn't really that good with the money.
Okay.
So I would help him with that. And, you know, if he needed anything, he really was just like, it was him and my stepmom, which was his wife. And she did all the marketing and everything there. So, you know, I really just, whatever they really needed me to do, I really just hung out and socialized, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not like I took a paycheck from them or anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I paid money to live with him because I wouldn't live with my, you know what I mean, my family without paying something. So it was kind of, it was just enjoyable for me. And, you know, I was just becoming a new mom, and I was pregnant. So to me, it was just like, okay, you better enjoy all these people now, because, you know, pretty soon you're not gonna. But it was cool because my daughter got older. She would come with me to the golf course and whatever. Not my family's big into golf.
Now, is that from your dad playing golf, or what? Like grandfather? Like, is it generational?
No, my dad actually wanted to be a professional baseball player.
Okay.
And his mother would not let him.
What?
She would not let him go to Florida or wherever he had to go. He's told me this, and he was really good. He played in school, and he really got into golf when she was like, you know, because he listened to her, and I think he didn't, you know. So I think he regretted it his whole life, but he did, you know, play golf, and he became very good at that. And he was on the senior golf tour for a while. The PGA for, you know, when he got older. Yeah. He never really made the PGA as a young person, because for him it was more a hobby. And I think, you know, that's it. And then growing up, I don't ever remember my dad working a day in his life. I just remember him going to the golf course. That was his job. Mm-hmm. You know, he went, taught people, ran the driving range, gave a lot of lessons out. And when him and my mom never played golf, she just liked golf. And I never got into golf. I was a bowler. I was bowling. And when they got divorced, it was over golf. He met somebody there at the golf course. Yes. And then my mom got into golf. And now she's like a nutcase, and she's been ever since.
Mm-hmm.
My brother plays golf, but golf's not my thing. Like I could drive a golf ball, but that's it. I'm not looking to go play short game, to putt. It's just too, I'll sit there and whack golf balls all day, but not play.
No, I totally understand that. It's
not my thing.
Yeah, it's a rough game if you don't play a bunch. I picked it up whenever I was growing up in my teenage years. One of the girls that I dated, her family had a driving range, and a couple of my buddies had golf, like their families had golf courses. Not that like I came from a like well-to-do area. It's just randomly they had them. And I would sit there and drive balls like till forever, like because I was able to. And then they
That's
had
all I liked doing. Like when I
and then
went,
they had
to
a
me,
putt
go
putt
play
too.
golf. Yeah. That's to me, because it's like instant gratification.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 5 hours to see how I did.
I totally get that. Yeah. Well, that's why I like playing scrambles and things of that nature too, because then it allows you to sort of socialize in between those drives.
Yeah.
Which is nice for an extrovert like myself. And I assume that you are too. You like being around people. And
I'm both.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you like private time too?
I try to stay home as much as possible. But when I do go out, I don't go out like, ever since I had kids, it's like I don't go out. Like I don't really have many friends per se.
For
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? And like to me, my socializing is done when I'm out shopping, at the gym, in my house, and most of it really on here on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of friends I grew up with a lot of friends, and I'll hi bye them and we'll talk online, but it's not like I'm going over to hang out and have coffee or anything.
Yeah, right. No doubt about
not
that.
This day, not today.
Is it that you're just pretty busy with things that you have going on, or because the reason why I wanted to have the conversation with you, not only just to connect with like-minded individual in the crypto and NFT space, but your Twitter name is Bariatric Beast.
Yeah.
And that caught my attention. So I wanted to dive into there. And you mentioned, going to the gym and this like lifestyle. What can you run me through a little bit as to what Bariatric Beast means to you?
Okay. In August of 2000, I was 467 pounds, and I had bariatric surgery. And when I had it 21 years ago, it was really not like it is today. Like today, you got to jump through hoops for years. Like this was like legitimately go sit down at this little seminar. All right. And like 3 weeks later, I was ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Yeah. It was not that long. I'm not going to say 3 weeks exactly, because I really don't remember, but it was not a process. Like I legitimately went and had like a couple tests at the hospital, and then came back a couple of weeks later. And I still remember the day I went in for surgery, because I never really had surgery. It was like one of the first surgeries I ever had. And I said to my mom, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. I don't. And I was serious, and I was an adult. I was like 25, 26, probably in that area. I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I swear to God, I changed my mind. My mom's like, no, the hell you're not. You're going. And I even remember that was it. And I just woke up, and it was just like, people think it's like a real easy way out when it's so the opposite. You know what I mean? I hear it all the time. It was like, not that I hear it that much anymore, because I really don't consider myself anymore a bariatric patient, even, though I am. But it's really like a lifestyle that you have to change your whole entire lifestyle. It's not, and you really have to submit to it. Like people will fight it. I did for a long time. I'm like, fuck this. I'll just eat a couple bites of a burger, or I'll just eat a couple pieces of pizza.
But that messes you up.
Fucks you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad. So it's like, and there's just so much I haven't even broken into yet with my own journey, And it's just, I mean, you really have to go beast at it like every day. You have to like the first thing you have to think about when you wake up in the morning is your stomach does not hold this much food. The only food you're allowed to eat needs to be of nutritional value. You know what I mean? Sure, I want a peanut butter cup. Sure, I want to eat garbage, but you're going to get sick. You know what I mean? You're not, you got to do it the right way. And unless you go like full beast mode on it, you're screwed. And people don't really realize that. I only started realizing it after I've been doing it for a long time. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to give in. I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do. You know?
Yeah. So whenever you first come out of that surgery, though, that obviously wasn't your mindset because
No.
you got to that point. So
Nope.
Can you run me through like the first couple weeks of that transition? Because here's why here's like the nail in the coffin why I want to talk about this is with the new year approaching and everybody coming at things with, their sort of beast mode at the beginning of the year, but that peters out come February, March after that first month. So like somebody who's still going strong with this, I want to hear like what that mindset transition from, because a lot of people are at that point right now.
Because I was just really tired of doing it my way, because after 18 years, my way didn't work. It was always, I never really signed up. Well, I subconsciously did, but I never physically, mentally signed up for, okay, you're going to have to keep track of food. You're going to have to really dive into your nutrition. I was always, even after the surgery, looking for the easy way out. Oh, I'll just not eat. Or, oh, I'll just eat once a day. Or, oh, I'll just eat candy. And, those count for my macros. You know what I mean? So it's like, I never realized until years later when I got sick or I got too thin and I didn't like the way I looked with all the extra skin. And I really finally, like 2 years ago, submit to it and said, I can't, I just got to do it right, which I'm really glad I did, because I didn't want to do it right. I wanted to do it my way for a long time. Because I mean, I'm not saying I don't eat garbage. Like I had 3 Hershey Kisses yesterday. However, I didn't have those Hershey Kisses till I knew I had all my protein for the day. You know what I mean? And even if I ate a little too much, it's really not that big a deal with going to the gym. You really need to be in the gym. People, they do. And I'm not, even if you don't have a gym, do it at home, but you really need to be moving around. Strength training, push-ups.
Whenever you're doing strength training, do you like just regular body weight? Is that all good?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do body weight, but what really gets me going is being able to like try to max out the machines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple of them, the back machine, the ab machine, not so much with the arms. My shoulders are very weak. Well, not very weak, but weak for my liking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, I just really started getting into my legs. I really started going to the gym, and I didn't start going to the gym till probably about 5 or 6 months ago. But like before that, I bought dumbbells because I really hated how my arms looked. My arms looked horrible.
So you had a lot of extra skin.
Totally.
Yeah. So I used to be 300 plus pounds. So I don't have a lot of extra skin, but I do have it. And where I have it the most is like right there in the arms. And it's really interesting, like how when you'd have that drastic change from heavy to now you don't, and then you have all that extra skin, like that's a thing too that you have to worry about.
It's a thing too, but you know what? It's patience with the skin. The skin will go back. And I'm not a doctor and I'm not a personal trainer, but I know one thing. I know for a fact the skin will go back because I document it and I watch my skin move on a daily basis, where it goes, what it's doing. It's crazy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So what, so you are tracking that, like how do you track it? I'm so intrigued.
I take tons of pictures.
Okay.
Tons of pictures. And I'm talking like, I will compare pictures 3 days apart just to see which way it's flowing. You know what I mean? when I was doing my arms and my shoulder, where the wrinkles are in my arms and wrinkles in my shoulders. And I would track by like the little moles, or not moles, but like the freckles that I'd have on my arm. And then I would like make little games with myself. If I could get this freckle to move this way, you know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I was
yeah.
real crazy with that. I still am. I take
It's
a lot
not,
of pictures.
you know what? I talk about this whenever I was with Kevin Murray a couple weeks back, and we were talking about the little games that we have to play to keep ourselves
You have to.
engaged.
You have
And
to.
isn't that just life, you know? Like that is life in a nutshell. And it's like, because I was talking to my daughter yesterday too, and she was saying something about just having like this positive outlook on the day or something. And I was like, yeah, wait till you just get a little bit older. This is a long game. Like this is a
It
long
is.
game to play. And these smaller, like attainable goals, like you're talking about, like move this freckle here.
Yeah.
That's a mindset shift. And you even said
Yeah.
you have to submit to the process. And
Absolutely.
what did that look like for you?
A lot of stuff I didn't want to do in the beginning, but I learned to actually like and then become obsessed with.
Mm,
You know what I'm
thank you.
saying?
Yes.
Everybody's like, you're not going to like it. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't. I did not like, there was a couple things I liked lifting the heavier weight, but like, I didn't want to hear, oh my God, I got to do this every day. Oh my God, I don't, because sometimes you just, not sometimes, but a lot of times you just wish, you know, you'd lift the weights and then be like, oh wow, dude, it's not like that. It's not even nearly like that. It'll
What, it's
never
not
be
like the
like,
commercials? No, that's not how it works.
it's
Shit.
not, it don't work like that. However, it does work. It does.
Well, it's funny too, and I just wrote this down. I said you don't have to like it, but whenever you get obsessed with it, you gain control of it.
Yes.
And whenever you can gain control of it, I think that's where you can say, yeah, this isn't so bad. Like
No, it's not. I
I don't
enjoy it now.
love it, but then you make it into this game. And then once you gamify it, now it's yours. And now you can control it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing that we do in our brains just to like make it okay with dealing
But the
with some
whole thing with
stuff.
the game is you actually have to play it. Like there's so many
True.
people that'll sit there and be like, yeah, dude, I'm doing it. I'm going. Oh, wait a second. I don't feel like doing it today. See, the game for me is actually getting it done as soon as possible, getting it over with early as possible. Like if I hold on to like having to do, like I do this push-up challenge now. If I do it past 4 o'clock, there's less and less chance that I don't skip it, but I'm not feeling it as much as if I'm doing it at 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning or when I first wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this morning I went to the gym. Today's not even a gym day. And I went to the gym specifically just to do abs because I'm playing with the skin now on my stomach. You know what I mean? And trying to fix, I'm really, for somebody who has a ton of skin and lost 300 pounds, I'm like totally into the whole, like the little abs, the shark gills on the side, those like, I could see them if I move this way. And to me, it's like, okay, I need to have that. I need to have that without moving. You know what I mean?
Got
To
it.
me, that's like the game. So I went, even though I wasn't supposed to do it today, I'll do it. I try to do my stomach now every single day just to see. And here's the thing, if it don't work, I didn't waste time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I found out it don't work. Or if I need to do a different exercise, or maybe it doesn't look as good if I, do the standing, the hanging leg raises instead of the pull machine. So to me, it's just like, I don't think any of it's wasted time, even if I don't get the results that I want immediately. And here's the thing, I don't expect them immediately. Like
Right.
if I see an ad by the time I'm 50, I'm winning.
I love that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's not, to me, it's really not that big a deal. I mean, what am I doing anyway? Watching TV, sitting on my phone. My kids are at school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
So whenever you're not in the gym and obsessing over what you're eating, what else are you up to?
I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook group that's called Bariatric Beast too.
I was curious if you had any community involvement, if you're running any communities with
I
the
do. I
bariatric
love
community.
them. I love them. They're awesome. when I put up a push-up challenge a couple of weeks ago, there's so many people started doing it. And that's really what it's about. I don't care if they don't want to post a video of them doing it. I post my video for accountability to myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Even if I look ridiculous. So do some of the guys that are in there. But as long as they do it, I don't care. You want to just post, hey, I did it, no video, cool. Did you do it? Because that's really all I care about. Because a lot of the people that are coming off the surgery, like I didn't have social media and a community 21 years ago. It was kind of like, here you go. I barely had the internet when I had my surgery. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
There wasn't, there was Google and there was books and there was just trial and error, which I think actually probably worked out. Like I think there's too much information for people, honestly, that have just had the surgery. You get overwhelmed with it. And a lot of them do. And I really just put it up there and have the group, for what works for me, that maybe that would help them, because I really wish I had that and I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And it seems like a lot of the times whenever we go through those situations where we have to figure it out on our own, we like to then provide sort of that next wave of people that are going to go through it as well, give them resources to
absolutely
just to skip to where you're at almost. Man, it's funny just how similar the behaviors are, like no matter where you go. And I'm sure you're doing it with like NFT and crypto as well, is like you're just teaching.
No, I haven't even bought one yet.
Oh, really?
No, not one.
Okay.
I'm waiting until January. I'm doing my homework.
Understood. What questions do you have?
What do you mean?
Like with the NFT and crypto space?
So many. And here's the thing. I start reading about it. Like, to me, I don't care about if a project's going to be worth money. Honestly, I look at I saw something the other day. I think it was like $122, 0.03 ETH or something, but I was in love with it because it was a bowling pin and the number of what it was, you know what I mean? It wasn't even, I'm not, to me, it really is just like, it would be like collecting little things, and I really want to get into it. I don't care. I've never been the type to care about the monetary, what kind of money I'm going to make off of it, because it's for me. It's not for, my pocket.
It's more for the story aspect of it.
It's totally, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like, okay, I need to have one of these because everybody else does, or I need a crypto punk to make myself look cool. You
don't need to flex in that respect. You just you just like vibing with story.
$122 bowling pin because it's the cutest thing I ever seen, and I used to bowl. You know what I mean?
You did mention that you were a bowler. Was that like, did you travel around? Did you go bowling?
Yeah, all over the place. I actually got a scholarship for bowling to William Patterson, and I never took it.
Oh no! What? William Patterson? I'm not familiar.
Honestly, I quit high school.
Oh really?
Senior year with great grades.
So you quit high school? My goodness! And then
it was the bullying. I was like 400 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
And there was no at-home school. You know what I mean? And I was lazy.
But that's looking back on it. You were lazy, like during the moment.
And to be honest, here's the thing. When I quit, I was working 2 years before I quit high school. And when I quit high school, I went to work full time. Yeah. So it wasn't like I was being a total loser and wanted to stay home. Not that somebody would be a loser if they did, but like everybody thought I was a loser. Even my parents were like, dude, you quit high school. I'm out working. I make as much money as y'all. Not being mean. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I'm just saying, I don't know. I really can't put my finger on what I was thinking. I just was so wrapped into my job and what I wanted to do. And I did, even with good grades, I just didn't want to be there. To me, it was wasting, $12 an hour. And in 1991, $12 an hour is a lot of money for a kid in high school. You know?
Yeah. What were you doing?
I was running a little snack bar in the bowling alley that my parents ran.
Okay.
Yeah. I was there 50, 60 hours a week.
And now how much of that time was spent working and how much was spent bowling?
Oh, I was working. And then when I would leave, I would open the shop at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I would be done about 5, 6 at night, or I'd come in 3 in the afternoon and close 1 and 2 in the morning. But whenever, either after I got off, if it was an early day, or before I went in, if it was a late day, I was bowling,
Mm-hmm.
bowling. You know what I mean? Game
So
after game,
yeah, you were putting in reps,
reps with bowling.
so many reps.
Yeah.
I want to know more about bowling.
You
Like,
do.
where did you travel around? Like, where did you travel around to? What was like a really cool? Yeah, let's just start there. Like, when did it start, and then when did you start competing?
I would say as soon as I got my first strike.
I had to go on mute there. I was
It's okay.
sneezing
I
like
saw you on
hard.
mute. That's okay. It's okay. God bless you. If I heard
Thank
it,
you.
I might have said it. But I
Would
guess
have blown out your ears with that.
as soon as I knew I was good at it, I started getting in people's faces. You know what I mean? Because I was like everybody was always, to me, I really wasn't good at anything. I wasn't a cheerleader. I wasn't on gymnastics. I played chess. I shot pool. I played air hockey. And then when I started bowling, I was like, all right, this me. I'm going to do this all in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a lot of leagues when I was young. When I was in high school, I wasn't allowed to be on leagues where we got money. So that kind of sucked for me. So I would get in these kind of little scrimmages or pot games with guys just to try to take their $25. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, I didn't always take their money, but I played. And to me, it was a big deal when they started to let me play in the men's pot, because I would play in the women's pots and it wasn't fair. The women stopped getting in the women's pot. They wouldn't put money in, because if I was in it, they were like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
We're going to lose. We're just donating to Carly again.
So I stopped. But then I liked it more being in the men's ones, because I used to get beat down. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and when I won, it meant more to me. You know what I mean? When I did. You're on mute.
Yeah, because you earned it at that point.
Right. But then when I was in high school, it got serious to the point where I would make my dad go and he would video every single ball I threw. I needed to see what I was doing. You know what I mean? I needed to see.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Depending on what lanes I would be at, I would find out who was oiling the lanes that day, how much oil they were using, when it was done, 3 in the afternoon, before a league, after a league, all crazy weird shit. I was really obsessed. So I knew which ball to use.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and here's the thing though, when you really get into something, and you start breaking it down by each piece and each variable that can affect the outcome, it's just such a deep level of understanding of the actual game itself. And that's why I find it really interesting of how in depth of a process that you go through, even from on your skin, down to that level. And anything that you do, you're breaking it down to the nth degree.
Right.
Do you find that rewarding, being able to break it down and explain the details?
My mom and my kids will make fun of me about certain things, but even my mom to this day, when I was bowling and I was doing good, I legitimately learned how to take apart the whole entire machine, the pin set machine, and put it back together, every screw, because I needed to know for some reason. I don't know why. I was obsessed with why sometimes the pin machine got stuck, or why a pin fell when it, you know what I mean? When it's set and it was supposed to be perfect. That I went and got the books and sat there and read them like a psycho. My mom's like, I can't even believe you're doing this. While I'm working in the snack bar in the restaurant, I'm sitting there reading books how to take apart a bowling machine, But I've always been like that. And I think I wouldn't want to be any other way. You know what I mean? Because then I could actually look at it from every different angle and learn something. And I did learn a lot. I really did.
Oh, 100% you would learn a lot. And it's a mindset, and I've said this a couple times, the ability to spin a bunch of plates all the time is a skill set that's learned, but at the same time, some of us are drawn to that flame more than others for whatever reason. But once you start getting into those really detailed things and you start being really curious about everything,
Everything.
life becomes really fun
Yeah.
because you can find joy in anything. Like you just can't. I feel like a person like yourself, solitary confinement wouldn't be the
That big a
worst.
deal.
Not that
Been
big of a.
there, done that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, explain that to me. You say been there, done that. Tell me.
Serious right now? All right.
Because yeah,
After I had gastric bypass surgery, and I wound up, after I lost like the first 200 pounds, I found out I had thyroid cancer
oof.
because I lost all this weight, but there were all these tumors all over my neck and I couldn't swallow. It was like, I thought it was something to do with my stomach. And it really was the reason why I was morbidly obese my whole life. Like my thyroid was fucked from 5 on, they said, by the amount of,
Wow.
there was like 54 or 55 tumors they removed in
Damn.
my neck. And I didn't even know because I was so obese that you
Yeah.
couldn't see or feel or anything else. So I was not a willing participant in my healthcare. So they kind of like were like, and I was an adult, and I had to go to some place where I wasn't allowed to leave for like 2 weeks
For sure.
for mental health. Why don't you care? Why don't you want to? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And yeah. So and here's the thing, I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying now that I look back on it, I'm glad I did it. I also had like even after the gastric bypass, I had about 30 other surgeries. Not plastic surgery, but like I had kidney stones. I had so many problems with having to get ureters, like these stints put in and out. I've had surgery on my chest. I had, a thing taken off my breast thinking it was breast cancer. So
Mhm.
like I had so many different surgeries and I got severely addicted to opiate medication. You know what I mean? From the doctor, because the day I had gastric bypass surgery, I refused all pain medicine. I wanted nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But after all the surgeries and being in pain and trying to keep up with my job and working, and, at the time I started relying on the pills. And thank God, I got over it. But there was a lot of times where, I was in a nursing home for months at a time.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital. Like there was like a 3-year period where I spent a good 8 months in Hackensack Hospital. You know what I'm saying? That sick, needed blood transfusions, refused to eat, just stuff like that. So it sucked. But, at the time, I didn't really have another choice. Like there was times where like I came from a very good family. I had a lot of stuff growing up. There was a lot of times when my parents got divorced, we had nothing. So I went from one extreme to the other. But like I legitimately walked out of my mom's house, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to go live on the street, and I just leave me alone. Don't come looking for me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, yeah, we all go through something.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't
Absolutely.
want
Yeah.
to hear it. I didn't want to hear that I needed to stop taking pills, or I needed to go back to work, or I'm never going to work again, because that's really what happened. I was big into my job until I got the cancer. And when I got the cancer, it was just like I felt everything got taken away.
Mhm.
So why bother? I'm never going to get over the cancer. I'm never going to get well. You become like that in your own head, and your own voice screws you, you know?
Trust. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, we get in our own way all the time.
Always,
And that
always.
it's I was talking to my daughter yesterday because she said she did something. She's like, "Oh, I'm so stupid." And I'm like, "Don't talk to my daughter that way." She goes, "Why do you say that?" And I said, "Because the way you talk to yourself is the way that, the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And if you, as silly as this sounds, when you say things like that, subconsciously you're thinking that. And if you do a little bit more on the other side where you're building yourself up and like hyping you up and doing all
I do
that,
that. I've learned to do that quite a bit.
yeah, I'm sure, because
Life
whenever you're talking
changing.
whenever you're
Life
talking
changing.
Yeah, when you're saying that you're telling your mom that you're going to walk out of the house and don't come look for me, like that's a lot of pain that's going on there. It's significant. It's a absolute yell for help. Um, I always say when there are a lot of bricks being put up and walls being built, that's more of a reason to try and go through that wall, like tear it down, climb over it, go get after this person, because they really, really, really need you. As much as they're just being such an ass about it, that those are the people who are like, yeah, they really need it. So at that time in your life, what was it that made that switch around? Was it that stay at the hospital? Like what changed?
I wanted a kid,
Okay.
and I knew I couldn't have a child in the condition I was in. I got pregnant, and I had to have an abortion
Okay.
at 9 weeks, and it really, really set me back. But it also changed everything, because I knew, had I been in the right health, not on drugs, and had support, I would have had the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm sure of it.
I wanted a daughter, not just a kid. I wanted a daughter.
Uh-huh. So whenever you got to that part, like that place in your head, and you're like, okay, this is what I want. This is where I'm at. Now we got to break down the steps to get to the other end of the spectrum here. Who was there in your corner, like hyping you up? Was it just you, or did you plug back into a community of sorts?
No, I wasn't even. I really. It was like it was. I was just by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, if I had to say something, it was music. I went a little crazy with music at the time,
Mm-hmm.
where all I would listen to was music. I had earphones in before beats were big. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I had earphones in, and I didn't want to hear nobody's opinion. I just wanted to listen to music and do what I had to do and get off the drugs. I physically had to get detoxed. I remembered, because I was real bad. Like, I never shot heroin, but it was all prescription medication.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a long time. And the withdrawal was horrible. But even after the physical withdrawal and the first 2 weeks of it, the mental, and what's really funny is I'm going through it right now with smoking. Like, I haven't smoked a cigarette in 10 days because I quit smoking.
Okay.
So now it's like the same thing. It's like, oh, you don't need the cigarette. You're not going through withdrawal. This is just your brain. This is just a habit. You feel better. You need to channel that boredom into something else. You
Got
know
it.
what I mean? So and it was a lot harder with pills, because when that's all you know for a long time, you feel that's your only comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And the pills really do change your mental, and they change your mood. So I I've become so anti-pill in the last 10 years, 12, 14, whatever it's been, 14 years, or anti-doctor, anti-everything, because, I really believe that, back in 2001 and 2002, I was overprescribed medication all the time, because I was such an issue with all my surgeries and all my problems. And I really don't even know how physically I was even able to stomach the medication with a stomach this big. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But at heavy, like 80 milligram Oxycontin, there was a lot of times I was snorting it, because taking it wouldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
I abused the shit out of it. So there's a lot of, I've battled so many addictions that the quitting smoking has actually been one of the easiest, believe it or not. You know?
I actually do believe you. I've had a lot of friends that have gone down the Oxycontin train, and it's
I ain't gonna say it wasn't enjoyable at the time.
oh yeah, trust. I mean, they say the same thing. And this was like just coming out of high school or in high school, and they would graduate to fentanyl, they would graduate to heroin, and I just had a lot of friends overdose and go down that
Horrible.
road,
I'm
and it's
sorry.
no, it's totally fine, and it's like, it's I've dealt with that, and I've come to peace with it, and rest in peace for them. but the prescription drug world is one that is it's good in terms of recovery and allowing your body the chance to recover and to not put you in pain. I understand why it's there. Why we have such an issue with it, like people were prescribed it for now, not so much anymore, but 10,
I
20
was in the
years
prime, man. They were
you
handing that
were,
shit out hand over fist.
yeah, like everything and big bottles of
Anything.
it.
Huge, huge bottles.
Yeah.
I was getting 90, 80 milligram Oxycontins a day, and in a week they'd be gone. And I would doctor shop because there was no system in place back then to say you went to Dr. Smith. So now you can't go to Dr. Mr. John Q. Public to go get more. I went to every single one.
Yeah. And you got them all filled. Yeah.
And I'd
And
go to different pharmacies and I'd pay cash. Only my main doctor would be under my insurance. I'd say,
yeah.
I have no insurance. Here you go. Here's 600. Give me my dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the other part too. Like if you have money, it makes
Oh,
it
I
even
had
easier.
plenty.
Yeah. It makes it even easier.
Yeah, it was I was making very good money at the time. I was working for a car dealership doing marketing and finance and whatever. And a lot. I was
Yeah.
doing a lot of work for them under the table that, I wouldn't be paying taxes on a lot of the money.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a lot of stuff for a lot of different car dealers where I was getting hand over fist money on the sly.
Yeah.
Right up my nose.
That lifestyle is like,
It was.
it's a lifestyle,
It
right?
is.
It's an absolute lifestyle. Like whenever you want to talk about, when you want to talk about community, good, bad, or indifferent, like you are in the community of that.
I was the actual dealer. I was the dealer's dealer.
The dealer's dealer.
My boss would come up to me. He'd be like, got any of those Annie bars?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I would have salespeople and finance managers come into my office and be like, Carly, could you give him something? Because he is a nutcase today, because he was a nutcase. You know what I mean? He was standing on tables screaming at us. And I was like one of the only chicks in that environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'd be like, can you give him something? Could you give him a pill? He's really killing me today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like a joke. And I mean, as sad as this is to say, I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't.
Well, it's funny that you had like a ton of enablers around you.
Ton.
Just surrounding yourself with people that just said, yeah, this is good. This is okay.
Yeah.
And how we buck the system that tells us it's not okay. And we go into a system that says, yes, you're fine. You're doing good. It's like, you could really do that with anything. And that's why, having those people that want to tell you the rough stuff, you got to have them in your life. You know what I mean? Like the people who are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then not be like, dude, you're wrong. Like, shut up. Like, this is what I'm doing. Like, you need those people that are like, hey, man, like, listen, I love you and all, but what you're doing right now is a little bit bananas.
Dude, I became that person for myself because I just said that this morning. What the fuck are you doing? You can't be doing this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Doing?
Yeah. I just find it, as like sick as this sounds, I find it reassuring to know that the way that my mind spins around is not so different than the way that yours does, in terms of like trying to break things down and then always just feeling like maybe it's just not quite enough, but and then you just got to push a little bit more. And then once you reach that part, you go even further down some other avenue. And I don't know, it's just, you can channel it for really good, which is what it seems like you're doing now. And you've made that transition into giving back to a community that wasn't even there before. And maybe if it were there before, you wouldn't have had to go through all that bullshit.
No, because I really only built that community after I was always into building like Facebook pages and Facebook groups and I had like 2 or 3 different meme pages that had 60K, 100K in just like less than a year. Boom, they would get taken down, because the content was against community standards, not going to lie,
Mm-hmm.
And once I got into doing the exercise and fixing my arms, I started a little group with a couple of people. It was really only going to be me and this dude and 1 or 2 girls. And we were just going to put our videos in there to help each other do our arms and back and legs and keep each other as accountable and just put the stuff in there. And it really became this, like, I don't know. I started it in June, I think, of this year. And I was in jail 3 times for 30 days. And it's like 7,000 something people already. And there's a lot that goes on there, and there's quite a bit active, maybe 5,000 active, but that's a lot for that group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think if it had been a different time, I really wouldn't have been into it as much. But I have this, I just love building little groups and pages and all this stuff, I can't really say I'm really like pro Facebook because I'm more comfortable there, and I feel you can build more there.
Okay.
Because I mean, you can't have like an Instagram group. You know what I'm saying? Not like you do a Facebook group. You can't have a Twitter group. Not like you do a Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, to me, I like it there. You can make it private. You can make it public. You could change it. You could not. I mean, and my demographic is more on Facebook than the other platforms. I do have accounts on every platform, multiple, you know what I mean? Even for my kids, even though they don't have access to most of them yet.
Right.
But like, I just really like building little places where it's like my house, but you can hang. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is my little crib, but come on in, dude, hang out. I'll give you some information and please give me yours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So that's, go ahead.
So you said your kids don't have access to them yet, and you obviously now have kids. So you went through that transition.
Two daughters.
So you got 2 daughters.
Yep.
I mean, how rewarding.
Totally.
It's all totally worth it now.
100%. Very good kids.
Yeah.
My daughter has a Twitter, and I'm not going to lie, she has access to her Twitter, and she spends quite a bit of time on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 13. But she had a Musical.ly when she was about 5, which is now TikTok. I mean, I get judged for it. Don't care. 0 fucks. Not your kid. My kid's not, out there calling other kids names, bullying kids. She's on there, she'll come. My kid that's on Twitter will come tell me what's going on in the world and the government before I even see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my other daughter, she's got a TikTok. She's 8. No, she just turned 9. I don't care if they have a TikTok. I don't care if they have a Twitter. What world are these kids growing up in? I really believe they should be on their stuff more. If I had the access they did, things would have been different, but we're not going to go dwell on that crap.
Yeah, right.
My daughter did, though. My daughter did some messed up stuff when she was about 7 with her Musical.ly account, and I took it away for a year. And she had no access to the internet for a year. She was allowed to play Roblox. They play Roblox like weirdos, and that was it. And she was punished. She was not allowed to have social media. And thank God, knock wood, ever since she got it back, she has, I can sign right in and out of their accounts. They both have Facebook pages they don't even use because I just put memories on there and tag them when I'm posting stuff.
Right. I think you got one sneaking in behind you.
What? Yeah.
I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
Close the door. I'll be out in a minute. Yeah, that's her.
Oh,
probably
good.
heard me talking about her.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something too that I've gone over with our daughter. It was like, this is the world you grow up in now. I grew up in that world. I grew up. My mom was on AOL chat rooms. I was on AIM. Like, it's like, this is what we sort of do as like these, I don't know, I don't want to call us nerds or anything, but like not antisocial, but
tech people.
Yeah. Like I like connecting like this. Like, this is
with
cool
other
for
people.
This doesn't bother me at all. I also can go to the store and connect with somebody. It's just I like to meet people where they're at, because I think all people have a story that they can
Yeah.
share. And just like you said, I like creating a space where I can give value, but I also like you bring value to me as well. So
Bring
it's
me
like
your opinion. I want to
it's
hear it.
both ways. It's a lot of fun. And I think that her being on TikTok and being on Instagram and being on Snapchat, if you insulate from that, the more they want it anyhow, just as a parent, and that's just normal behavior. So I always say, like, I don't want her to Romeo and Juliet social media. Like, I don't want her to have to sneak around and try and do it.
Nope.
I would just rather teach her
Yep.
a way to do it, and make it your own. Do your thing, but like, don't be doing crazy stuff, and be
Nope,
respectful.
she doesn't.
Yeah.
She does not. You know what I mean? I check on what they're doing. And most of the time, I'm friends with them. So I see all their silly videos. And then I'll even say to them, nah, fix this, fix that. Or, I don't think there's ever been a time recently where I had to say, take that down.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't think I would, unless, they're doing something that's, going to get them, killed, or, some predator is going to be in there. My kids know not to talk to people in the DM, not
Right.
people that, you know what I mean? They know
Oh,
they're, and I think if I tried to keep that pedophilia from them and keep the sick people that are trying to sell them crypto. Like, it was funny because 2 years ago, I remember when my daughter, my 7-year-old, was on TikTok, and somebody was she goes, Mom, look, you could give me $100 and I can make you back 1,200 next week in Forex. You know what I'm saying? Like, had I kept them from that, who knows? But I have, I don't want to, like, my kids grew up watching, like, people who were on drugs on TV, and people that are in gangs on TV. It's like, I want to be the person to expose them. My mom's like, you expose them to too much. No, I don't. No, I do not. Mind your own business. I value your opinion, but I wish I was exposed, lady. You should have exposed me.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm willing to take that chance. You know what I'm saying? But so far, I haven't had an issue.
It's amazing how much more people will bring to you whenever you give them information and allow them to make a decision.
Dude, my kids tell me every single thing. They do.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, is you're
mom.
also teaching them to trust themselves. Through that process, you're not only teaching them to trust you, but you're validating their ability to trust themselves as well. Yeah. And I think that's even more important, is allowing somebody to actually say something about themselves, and it be not that you need validation, but it's then validated by somebody that they trust, which is you, and they know that that's a scam now. That's going to help them.
Yes.
That's going to help them. And it's going to help them to understand that type of scammy behavior outside of, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true stuff.
It always is. I get it. I still get 100 of those things a day. I think it's so funny. And I'm just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No,
and the crazy part is it actually works on some people.
But here's the real sad thing. I am so involved with trying to get a lot of these people's accounts shut down, because my dad got scammed big time. So big, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And it really, and it was almost like it was his last bit of money. And I had to watch him die broke because he believed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really, even though to me, a lot of the times, I don't like sit there and purposely mess with them. I used to. Or, you'll get some dumb stuff. They'll be like, oh, did you hear about the grant? We're giving away $750. Oh, yeah, I got it yesterday. I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much again. And then they're like, okay, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to mess with them, but it's like, come on, dude. Nobody's handing me $750. Go away. No, I'm not giving you $200 a week to make me $30,000. If that was an actual ratio, I'd have been retired. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but the sad thing is it's working on somebody, or it still wouldn't be a hustle. And that's sad.
Exactly. Where
You know what I
there's a
mean?
winner and those DMs, there's somebody out there getting scammed, and there's somebody losing. Yeah,
And I really feel bad for a lot of these people that are put up to do it. They don't even know better. 90,000 billion of them are from other countries. They don't know. They'll do anything they're told. And you really can't hate on these people. They haven't eaten or drank. You think they're not going to say, hey, whatever. Yeah, you could do that. Of course they're going to do whatever, because that's all they know. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like you got to have a little empathy for that.
Yeah,
However,
they did an interview with one of those guys that were scamming, and he really didn't even understand that it wasn't a legitimate job what he was doing.
right. They don't. I watched so many of them and I'm so obsessed by it. Like all these people that have like the fake Snoop Dogg profiles, or the fake Gary V profile, or fake whatever. Like I will sit there and I get mad when they're not taken down. Like I will sit there, I'll report it. I'll ask my friends to report it. I'll sign in and out of all my different, because I have quite a few different Facebook accounts. Get these stupid people down. And then they're like on the feed. They're in the thread. They're like, you won. You know, I didn't win.
Yeah.
How are you letting this happen? It just gets me so fired up. I get so mad. But I'm sure it's because of my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why. 100%. Like I know myself. If that never happens, I wouldn't care about some stupid guy in somebody's thread. I might,
Sure.
but not to the extent.
It wouldn't hit you in the heart like it does
no,
now.
dude, kills me. And I'm just like, and I told my dad a million times. I'm like, dude, that's bullshit. Don't. And he would just, it's not. I'm like, oh. And like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah.
It's not my money. He's 80 something years old. Come on, I can't do nothing about it. If that made him happy, go whatever, dude. I can't. I'm not gonna fight with you. I know it's fake. And he, and it wasn't just once, it was multiple times. Like, but this time, no.
Yeah. Well, that's like that gambler's mentality, or like somebody who's like just always on to the next thing, and always trying to do it better or do more, and all of those things. Like I said, you can use them for really good, but sometimes it sort of takes you over, and you lose this. You stop becoming the watcher, and you become like the watch. Like you're not really in control of things that are going on anymore.
Right. I'm not a gambler. I don't even like buying my mother a lottery ticket.
Oh, good.
My ex, the kid's dad, he was like one of those people where it was like, yeah, dude, we need to spend $100 a week on. No, we don't. You never win. And the funniest part is he never would even check the tickets. There would be tickets laying around the house that I remember 2 or 3 times finding tickets that were worth like $54. You don't even know. So what the hell are you doing? Are you even checking? Like, I am so anti-lottery. It's not even funny.
Oh, okay.
Totally anti.
Yeah.
Like, if my kids want like a scratch off once in a while, my mom will let them do it. But no, I watched my grandmother, my mother's mother. But here's the thing. She would win, but she'd be on like the $100 slot machine, and she'd put in 10 grand to win like 13. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I watched a lot of times her win money, but over the course of her lifetime, I'm sure she lost way more than she won.
Mm-hmm.
But it would make me sick to watch money like that just go in a machine with the hope of maybe I might be that numerical freaking miracle. You know what I'm saying? And you're not.
I do. Yeah, I totally know what you're saying.
And here's the thing: if people like gambling, that's cool. I'll bet a couple bucks on, like, I would bet, $5 or 10 or 20 or $50 myself if it was like on football or like a game or something. But to go physically sit there and or even I've played poker with my friends for a few dollars, but I'm not going to give New Jersey Lottery, $20. I'm just not. It's just not.
Understood. I totally understand what you're saying. I don't love lottery either. I do love the casino. I like playing like roulette and just going down and hanging out.
It's different. And if you can afford to lose it, you can. But I've watched people like their life became that, and it was just not good.
Yeah, I don't even go there with more than a couple $100. Like,
yeah, you can't.
It's like going to a show for me. I treat it as going to the movies or going to the show. Like I'm there to be entertained.
Right.
I'm there to go have some
It's not like
food.
you're there every weekend looking to, that's how I'm going to retire, dude.
Yeah, that's not how I'm making rent. That's not how I'm paying electric. Like
But
none
for
of that.
some people it is.
I know it is.
Sucks.
It's super upsetting.
Yeah.
But I want to be respectful of your time. I saw that your daughter was peeking through there. Where can people find your Facebook group if they did want to reach out and they wanted to connect with you a little bit further? If somebody's going through bariatric, maybe even in thinking about it, where can they find you at?
It's Bariatric Beast, and it's on Facebook. It's a private group, so nothing gets shared outside the group. You know what I mean? I don't want people to feel like their pictures and their before and afters or what they're doing or eating will go outside the group. You know, so it is a private group on Facebook, but it is just called Bariatric Beast on Facebook.
Very good. Well, Carly, thank you so much. This was an absolute pleasure. I didn't
You
even
too.
think I'll tell you this, whenever I woke up today, I didn't think I was going to talk about bowling and Oxycontin in the same
Me
conversation.
either.
So
Bowling and pills.
they're all a pin of some sort. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You
And I'll be
too.
reaching back out to you as a follow-up because we will do the Tuesday live show on Twitter Spaces. So I'm looking so much forward to it. Thank you. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You too.
All right. Enjoy.
I have to figure out how to turn this off.
I'll end it for you. See ya.
Please.
Thank you so much for sticking here until the very, very end. If you wouldn't mind just leaving a comment or subscribing or liking the podcast or wherever you downloaded this, maybe it was from YouTube, I would love for that. You take an extra couple seconds to give us some more love. Even though you have listened here to the very, very end, we appreciate that so much. Could you also go over to thestarspodcast.com if you found any of this really interesting and you wanted to dive in a little bit further, or go to our Discord, which is Rocinante Studios NFT. Enjoy the journey.
And be sure to check out our Twitter Spaces Tuesday live crew at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Free NFTs and PO apps.